This is the first video in a line of videos in a reply to LetsGetFree4, the 4 is the number, and it's a whole series of videos. This is probably my first, or one of the few videos that gets away from atheism and Christianity, and well, you'll see. So, let's begin.
Well, let's take a look at this. So I uploaded a few videos with this dude. Doesn't believe, believe in God. To me, is completely retarded. All I gotta do is walk out in the yard and look around and go, where the fuck did this come from? It came from somewhere.
So I know I said I would get away from Christianity. Well, I didn't know that this guy considered himself a believer when I was starting to watch some of these videos. But he just goes into a bit of a detail that Jesus is a savior, but greater than what normal people would believe, and that etc., etc. But primarily, everything in this video is going to have to do a lot with Kabbalah and numerology and stuff like that. So I just wanted to cut off a little bit of fluff and go on to the real meat of this video.
You see this here? This is from the Tate LaBianca murders.
The Tate LaBianca murders were part of a string of murders that happened by a group of people that followed Charles Manson. And I'm going to go into a little bit better detail as we go further along once he starts to talk about it. But I just wanted to give you a kind of little heads up of what's happening.
From Charles Manson. See the 33 right here? You see it?
In this photo here, you can see Leno LaBianca. His wrists were bound by a leather thong. And it's hard to see what exactly those things are. LetsGetFree4, his interpretation of it is that that's 2 3s. Now, that thing in the center by his wrist could be a 2. That thing just to the right of it could be an 8, or diamonds on top of each other. They just look like numbers. In the official reports, there was nothing of any numbers carved or anything onto the wrist, but, that's probably just one of those things that they're trying to cover up. They're trying to expose it, but then cover it up. But, whatever.
That ain't a lucky clover. Here's your seal of Saturn, right? These guys believe in God.
What we have here on our left is the seal of Saturn, and on the right, Leno LaBianca's body. The 2 X's here he proposes are the seal of Saturn. Thing is it's quite a bit off from what the seal of Saturn actually is. It's missing quite a few elements. The first thing that should be noted is that those little orbs on the end of it that are representative of the different aspects of Kabbalah, Jupiter and Saturn and whatnot, they're not attached. You notice the center part, which would be the big giant diamond in the middle, is much too small. And then there's no lines connecting them, which I've conveniently added in this picture with my awesome Photoshop skills. This is not even close. The astute among you may point out that the word war is what it seems to be engraved into his stomach. Well, as we know, Charles Manson listened to the album, the White Album from the Beatles, and he assumed the song Helter Skelter was in reference to the fact that the blacks one day were going to rise up and going to take the whites out. And he assumed that there was going to be some sort of apocalyptic war that was going to happen. And we see this remnants of this ideology that he taught these people, this Manson family. They saw death to the pigs and rise written on the walls on this same murder scene. So it's very obvious, or at least a much better conclusion, that the word war was written on there than opposed to some symbol of Saturn, which you then have to try and figure out where the AR, what that stands for.
They believe in it so much that they either went to the extent to create this fake illusion that somebody got killed, or somebody really got hacked up. Either or, we know what this symbol is, and we know where we can find it. Here's this guy, Tex Mars. He was one of the guys that supposedly helped. Notice he's got a 60 and a 6. I bet he believes in a God.
Firstly, that's a 6, and on the other side was a 6, not a 60 and another side a 6. Secondly, and most importantly, that thing was measuring how tall he was. It was saying that he was over 6 foot tall. Why do I even have to point that out? Why is that not obvious?
Here's Charles Manson with his booking number, or his prison number, which is what? We know that that's really a 1, a 3, a 3, a 3, a 9, and a 2.
From what little I do understand about Kabbalah, apparently, and then its association with numerology, which it seems like it's his focus, is, each number has a different definition, or different thing that it's applied to, qualities and characteristics of a person, and then it's also associated with a color. But the fact is, he just throws in a 1, throws out a 0. Now, of course, 0 doesn't count. 1 through 9 are actual numbers, mean something, but there's no double digits, and 0 means nothing. But still, it's just, there's no explanation for what that actually means, and he just throws in a 1. I don't know. So, yeah, you can add numbers and just subtract numbers, and yeah, of course you're going to find those correlations. You just make it up as you go, absolutely.
Right? We know that's what that really is. Okay? Interestingly enough, here, isn't that interesting? See it here? Isn't that interesting? That circle with the line going through it in a cube looks like a certain planet that we know, right?
Upon investigation of the photo, and by the way, it's really hard to find anything like it. I found what I thought would be the source photo, but it was cut off, like right here, about where I'm cut off, so I couldn't really look into it much further. But so just from the video or the picture I see on the video, you can see that the line that he's referring to is the hem of his pocket, like where you can put the stuff inside the pocket, that little thing. And then the circle, I'm not sure what it is, but you can see there's a really bright light all out in front of him that's shining on this one. You can see it up his entire arm. And my first guess was maybe he was by a window, but it was a pretty dark, pretty bright shadow, but it's kind of hard to say what it is that's shining on him. But so what? I mean, because, it's not like it was something that's stitched onto his uniform. It's not like it was something that he did it to himself, or it was something inside the prison system. It was a shadow cast onto it. I mean, and so what anyways, because Saturn may be the most notoriously known for having rings around it, but Jupiter, Uranus, and Neptune all have rings around it. So maybe really likes Jupiter doesn't necessarily mean Saturn. Again, you're just drawing conclusions.
How about the girls? Let's not forget them. All of them with the X on their head. Do they believe in God? They believe in a God. Sure they do. Sure they do.
The thing is that has nothing to do with Christianity. One day, during the trial, Manson appeared in court with an X carved into his forehead. He had issued a statement saying that he was considered inadequate and incompetent to speak or defend for himself, and he had X'd himself from the establishment's world. Then over time, these people, these followers, part of his family, and they all started to wear the X as well. Then eventually it became a swastika, but that's really not related.
See, dude, because we're in the playground of the fallen. What the fuck you think this place is? What do you think this place is? Of course Jesus Christ exists. Of course God exists. Why do you think we're here? We're not here because it's fun. We're here because Jesus Christ exists and the Almighty exists. That's why we're here. Okay? You don't have to look far. Just look into their stuff. That'll prove to you that Christ and God both exist. Because if you got this, sugar, you're going to have the other side too.
And that's really about the end of that video for him. And for anybody that is a Christian that ends up watching this, please note that I am not lumping you in with him, nor am I trying to say that you guys are that level of conspiracy theorists or anything like that. No, I have that much respect for you guys enough, because I know when I was a Christian I didn't believe in that, and I'm not going to pull a Brett Keane, and just because I find one crazy person that is a Christian or believes that he's a Christian or whatever or what have you, that I'm going to lump you all in it. I'm better than that. So this is the first video. I've got a few more that I'll be working on probably over the weekend. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. If you guys, anything you want to add to that, anything that could be relevant, if anybody can find that photo with him that shows the whole thing so I can look at it a little bit better than from that picture with Charles Manson and the light and the pocket and all that stuff, I would greatly appreciate that. But until then, this is the Atheist Chef signing off. Peace.